Hi, my name is Carl Stanley, and thank you for coming along thus far in the course. Now, we've looked through the business, data application, and technology stack. Now, if we're building this capability out, which is our enterprise architecture, for our enterprise architecture team or our enterprise architecture office, we have to put together a project context. So what do I mean? A model that is going to pull out all the conceptual pieces that are going to get realized if we upgrade the team. So I'll show you what that means. We've had a look at that, some of that in earlier demonstrations, but let me break it down for you. And yes, I am wearing a hat and I've changed my getup a little bit. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I've had to come back another day to do some filming. So I didn't come prepared, but hey, I think we've gotten to know each other a little bit. So hopefully you're not too bothered by the t-shirt and the cap. The cap actually is technically a good thing to do because it actually helps with the green screen. It creates a clear line across the back of your head so that there's no fuzziness when it comes time to it. But anyway, that's part of the other capabilities I do for my business, a little bit of production. So let's move on and we'll start talking about exercise number 6, and then I'll take you into conclusion. So exercise number 6. Next slide. Here is my favorite viewpoint. Now, why do I keep saying this is my favorite viewpoint? Well, remember, if we go back into the course and we talk about knowledge management, data, information, knowledge, and then wisdom. And there's lots of information in this one viewpoint. What do I mean? Have a look at your screens. Who? Business roles, business actors. Where? What location? Why? Goal, constraint. When? Plateau. As you go into the spec, you learn what each of these different objects means. So that is a point in time. A plateau is a point in time for a transition architecture. So that's a when. And then obviously, as we go through the build function, or part of our build of the business, we've got, of the IT business, we've got designing phases, we've got implementation phases, and each of those projects will have a deliverable, a solution architecture design, application high-level design, an application detailed design, something that you're going to use as a vehicle to change your core elements. And those are all the things we've just modeled. Our application services are technology services, application components are technology components, functions, application collaborations, interactions, things that realize or access data, things that realize the services, processes, realize the business services. So as you become conversant in this architecture modeling language, it just sort of flows. And so now our deliverables in this relationship, realized. That is a key relationship. And I showed you how to home that in on that in our matrix of things. So this is good stuff. My favorite viewpoint, the implementation and migration viewpoint. And here it is. Quite simply, if we had a project called Child and Youth, and you did a solution architecture design, a logical application design, or a logical technology design, high-level designs, they realize some changes conceptually to certain infrastructure services and conceptually to an application platform. That's your solution architecture design. Then you hand that over to your solution architects, your systems engineers, your SMEs, whoever, and they knuckle it down into the apps that are part of the Universe platform. Insure, roads, these sort of things. And then, let's go back to that one. And then into a logical technology design or system software is going to be impacted by doing this project. And in our case, we're going to build one based on our enterprise architecture team. So let me flip out to the tool, Archi tool. And here you go. Here's one we've baked earlier. Basically, if you have a look, project architecture hands-on, right? We've got our layers: conceptual, logical, physical. As long as we keep to those layers, it gets easier. Now, I've done something a little bit different, right? I've changed tack a little bit. I've pre-populated on the left-hand side of the model the components that we want to drag onto said palette. So that's also another way, instead of creating them on the right here, one by one, and bringing them across and then naming them, you can actually do bulk imports and import things from spreadsheets that you've got from your environment, and you just tag them with the metadata, which is application component, and then bang, you've got a list a whole bunch of application components that you can start dragging onto these palettes and doing your drawings. That's cool. We want to do that. So let me show you here what I've done. So in theory, we are looking at our implementation and migration. You'll notice they're under the top node there, and then you put them into what you'd like. So I just said an architecture team upgrade. Boink, put that in there, right? So then conceptually we have a solution architecture design. We call it a SAD. Then we have a application design, and we call it a tech design. I've actually added those relationships because I've modeled this once before, but you get the point. Use the magic connection. It's all about realize. Okay. Now, logically speaking, remember we had our we had a view that was of our combined stack, right? A layered viewpoint. Those are things. So conceptually, we have a business service. Conceptually, we have an application service. Conceptually, we have an infrastructure service. So those are the things that we're conceptually going to change. So if I go into my technology layer and we go word processing services, bang. And yes, I did this before, and you can just click the relationship and hit delete. It doesn't actually get rid of the relationship schematically at the back end. It only gets rid of it visually. Okay, so let's just do the word processing one, the application modeling service, and so just get rid of that one. So we're learning some new tricks, and we're going to look at our business, which is our architecture review service. Okay, and there you go. Conceptually, that's what we're doing. These are the services that are going to live with the stack that we're going to change. All right, and then your solution architects are going to further pad them out. All right, my favorite viewpoint. And then what did that equal from an application perspective? Remember, it was, I like the fact that you can put lines of, they true up the diagram for you, make it nice and easy. Very good stuff. So at the application level, let's go to which application components. So Archi, boink, there you go. And then at the technology level, we drop in a desktop. Amusingly, we called it desktop with a device called laptop. I guess you could say that. a desktop for it. It goes on a desktop and everything's a desktop in theory. So it's a laptop is a subgroup of a desktop. So here's my realization relationship. So now we have our whole stack plus how we're going to change it over the top. My favorite viewpoint. Now, if we go all the way back to our stakeholders' concern, general manager wanted to make sure, or business wanted to make sure that general manager could deliver on said projects. If we model each of the projects, so we go across the SMEs, we ask the solution architects, we ask the PMs, or we ask the business analysts, we ask other enterprise architects, maybe BAs from the business, BAs in IT. We ask them all those questions and we structure it into that modeling language by asking the questions. Infrastructure service, and they go, what do you mean by infrastructure service? And you say, well, this is what the Archimate spec calls it. This is what we'll call it, and we start putting them into the platform. These are very good things because it gives you a template for how to ask the questions. So you're doing business analysis, you're doing systems analysis, all those sort of things. So this was exercise number 6. Now we're going to go out to a conclusion. And what I wanted to say was thank you very much for coming this far. I'm really hoping that this is fitting with you, the mission based on my mission statement. So remember my mission statement as part of my company, supplying hands-on, giving hands-on enterprise architecture insights to aspiring professionals. So I hope that's happening now. So thank you very much. And we'll see you in the next session.